All right, 36. What they want you to do here is to change the 1/9, right? And what we can change it into is 3 to the x minus x is equal to 1 over 3 squared, right? Because 9 is just 3 squared. So that way we have the bases the same. But now this one's 3 squared. Is there a way I can make 3 squared go on top? Right? Instead of being on the bottom? I want it just to be up top. So that would be, I'd change it to negative, right? And that would make it up top. So 3 to the x minus x is equal to 3 to the negative 2, right? And so from here, 3 to the x minus x equals 3 to the negative 2. What I want, since they're raised, they have the same bases. Once I have the same bases, then x minus x is equal to negative 2. So what is x minus x? So, you know, that would be like 0, it seems like, right? Just doesn't seem possible. Right. But yeah, if we put in a negative 1, right? Negative 1. Just seems like this negative, this x minus x, seems like that has to be a positive. It just doesn't work. I think they miswrote it. Because it wants you to have a negative 1 as your answer, right? But negative 1 minus a negative 1 is 0 still, right? Nope. Because 2 negatives make a positive. Right? So, I'm thinking the only way you can solve this the way the book wants it is if this was a plus x. X plus x.
Negative 1 plus negative 1? Right?
Huh?
Negative 1 plus negative 1 or negative 1 minus negative 1?
Negative 1 minus negative 1 would be plus 1, which would be 0. Still wouldn't work. Now this would be 2x equals negative 2, and then you do divide by 2, and you get x equals negative 1. And that's the only way you can get x equals negative 1, is if this is plus. So I think there was an error in the way the book wrote it. Funny how that happens even to books, not just the teachers who write their own tests. Amazing. Even computers make mistakes.
Honestly, Sarah,
time to send all these books back.
the tone that you have while you were saying that with Dan sounded like you really did not care.
Alright, so this next problem. We want to get this to be a 1/2 also. We want them to have the same base. Right? So first let's get it to a 2. Can we get 64 in a form of a 2? 64 in the form of a 2? What is 64? 2 to what power?
Wasn't it 2 to...
8?
Close?
No, 7 or 6?
Closer? 6. Good. So 2 to the 6th is 64. Okay? Now, how do I write that as a 1/2 then? How do I get that 2 to the bottom? Right? And so what I can do is say, can I just say 2 to the 6 is equal to 2 to the 6th? Is that true?
Yeah.
Right? Then could I say that 2 is equal to 1/2 to the negative 1? Is that true? Yeah?
Yeah.
And so now I could just plug in this as 1/2 to the negative 1 to the 6th. And then when you multiply these exponents, you get 1/2 to the negative 6. See how that works? So really, this is just 1/2 to the x is less than or equal to 1/2 to the negative 6. So what is x? Now for this side to be less than this side, how is that going to work? Let's think about it. Right? If x were less than or equal to 6, or negative 6, sorry about that. Is that the way we would want to write this? Okay? Would that mean that this side would always be less than this side? What's a number less than negative 6? A whole number. Negative 7, right? Would that be 128? Right? So, in other words, is 1 and 128 less than 1/64th? Yeah, right? Because the bigger that lower number gets, the smaller the number is. Boom. And we're on it. Okay? Pretty simple. Okay? Once you have these the same, bam, these just kind of line up. Okay? Same thing with this. Now this was a little different. This one was confusing. This one was when we change this into an exponential, right? Now, when we change it into an exponential, the way we kept this to work, we said that 10 to the 2.5 is going to be less than, now for us, since we're going from log to exponential, we're going to say this sign flips. And now it is 10 to the 2.5 is less than the exponent, which is 5/2.
You alright?
Oh, whoa.
Oh, yeah. She said if tonight goes this one, we can't do like what you guys did at 12 either. Sandra already said no.
No,
it's very hard
that's
you
not
guys said
true.
this morning. And she said it's gonna be hard with me. And I was like, okay, I'll work it.
10 to the 2.5 is less than x to the 5/2.
Try it. When did they get back? Thursday?
That means if this is 2.5, then these two bases have to be 10. So 10 has to be less than, so x has to be greater than 10 for that to always work.
Oh, shoot.
Is that it?
That's it?
I believe so.
Well, I have to use the bathroom. So, that's right.
Okay.
Yes, that's what we'll that.
I think we can call that.